This is our character for this episode, a level 23 paladin named Nebu. He lives in the Babylonian capital of Babylon and has dedicated his entire life to serving others. After all, that's what a paladin does. Looking at his stats, we can see that his skills are mostly centered around defense and strength. Having a high defense, and of course being a paladin, allows Nebu to have naturally high HP. This is a pretty simple, classic paladin build that is very popular amongst players. Nebu gets up every morning and prepares himself to do what he does best, questing. He puts on his armor, a low tier iron plate body and plate legs, equips his enchanted iron shield, which he got as a rare draw from an auction, picks up his freshly repaired iron sword and heads out to the bulletin board to see what the day's adventures might be. Living during the Babylonian era was actually a pretty cool time to be alive. The capital, Babylon, was the center of the ancient world, drawing in thousands of artists, potters, mathematicians, and philosophers. As a player, this was a great place to get quests. The city was also abundant in materials, most notably clay, which was used not only to create official documents, but was also the main material used for building houses in the city. High-level archaeologists would eventually come back to Babylon and use its remains to piece together the stories of the ancient world, of which Nebu, our main character, desperately wants to be a part of. But for now, he is still only a level 23 paladin. He'll have to grind a few more quests before he can really become significant. On the bulletin board, he sees a clay tablet that looks interesting. 500 gold to whoever catches the thief that steals our clay pots. Apparently, there is a mysterious thief that has been breaking into potters' homes at night and stealing their clay pots. As he reads, he notices that this isn't a quest sponsored by the city. Instead, the local potters have come together and have put forth a reward for anyone who completes the quest. Nebu thinks to himself that this is a pretty easy quest, so he accepts it. But there's a small problem. He notices something in the fine print. Must be level 24 to complete. Unfortunately, Nebu is level 23. He's missing one level. I guess it's back to Oxen. Now level 24, he can go back and accept the quest. The first task is to talk to each of the potters and see what they have to say about the thief. He goes to the first potter, who tells him that the thief only came once and took some of his pots in the middle of the night. It appears as though the thief only took what one inventory could carry. The second potter tells a similar story. The thief came in the middle of the night, took pots, and left with only as much as one inventory could carry. Nebu is starting to recognize a pattern. This is most likely just one low-level rogue trying to steal some pots for whatever reason. The last potter Nebu talks to is very high level. He makes premium clay pots and even has his own enchanter who, for a price, will enchant your pots. Enchanted pots give you a boost of XP while training your cooking or crafting skill. No doubt, this would have made the perfect target for a thief. However, this potter tells a slightly different story. He tells Nebu that the thief came twice, each time in the middle of the night, but still only taken as much as one inventory could physically carry. He also mentioned that once the thief came to his home, he never went back to steal from the other potters, which of course makes sense. Once the thief found the high-level potter with enchanted goods, why would he go anywhere else? The man tells Nebu that he has tried to alert the authorities, but that they couldn't spare the resources to help, so instead, he got the potters together and convinced them to sponsor this quest, and that's as much information as the potter is able to give. 3 potters, 3 incidents, but no lead. How is Nebu going to complete the quest? He thinks of possibilities, like maybe since the thief is probably low level, he might have left clues somewhere, or maybe people have seen or heard something throughout the night. But remember that Nebu has a classic paladin build, which usually has low intelligence. A paladin isn't meant to be super smart, they're more meant to be able to tank and to keep the enemy's attention, while the high DPS classes like rogues or archers for example do their damage. So the best theory that he could come up with was that the thief was most probably stealing these pots to then sell them at the auction house, and the reason why he came twice to the rich potter's home was probably because he discovered enchanted pots that he could sell for a lot more. And given the fact that he came twice, well, he might come a third time. The pattern is clear. If he comes, he'll come in the middle of the night and only take what one inventory could carry. Seems simple enough. All Nebu has to do is to wait and see if the thief comes back. As he waits, he has a lot of time to think about the reasons why the thief might be wanting clay pots. I mean, clay was the foundation for Babylonian life. Not only did they use it for their official documents, but they also used it to write any of their observations of the sky. You see, Babylon played a significant part in the history of astronomy. The roots of modern-day astronomy all lead us back to the clay tablets found in Babylon. So yeah, it makes sense that we have a clay thief. Clay was very much in high demand. He would have had no trouble selling it. After about a few hours of waiting, Nebu notices a man approaching the potter's home. He is dressed in black, probably a full leather set, but the shoes are different. They have a glow as if they were enchanted, probably to make him silent. Nebu decides that the best approach is to let the thief steal and then follow him back to wherever he goes. There, he would confront the thief and potentially discover a hideout of some kind, which might lead him to more thieves or even the secret entrance to the Babylonian Thieves Guild. As expected, just a few moments later, the thief leaves the house. Nebu follows him throughout the city, all the way into the low-level desert right outside the city walls. Now this desert isn't particularly dangerous, but there had been some reports of bandits poaching around and waiting for newbies to come. But that's not a problem for a level 24 paladin, at least not anymore. As he is following the thief, he suddenly gets stinged by a small level 6 scorpion, typical to spawn in this desert. Scorpions are annoying and a nuisance, but they're not really a problem. I mean, the city has been using them in daily quests to get new players some XP. For Nebu, one hit is really all it takes. The thief makes a turn behind a hill and appears to be heading towards a glowing object on the ground. He takes each of his stolen clay pots and drops them inside what appears to be a magic portal of some sorts. Nebu has never really seen something like this before. That's it, Nebu tells himself. It's time to make his presence known. He surprises the thief and tells him to stop everything that he's doing, that it's over, and that he will turn him in to the authorities. His thieving has come to an end. The abrupt interruption scares the thief turns around, and Nebu quickly realizes that something is off with this man. His eyes seem weird, as if he was under a spell. But before Nebu could make out what was going on, the thief pulls out his dagger and attacks him. Nebu gets a critical hit since he wasn't expecting the attack, but for a paladin with such high HP, this doesn't do that much damage. The thief is lower level and Nebu has no trouble taking care of him. With the thief now dead, Nebu then looks at the portal to try to figure out what it might be, but before he can look at it properly, it disappears and so does the thief. Could it be a summoned NPC acting as a player? But it can't be. Summoning real humans is forbidden. He notices a clay tablet where the portal was just a few moments ago. He picks it up and reads, "You passed. Come back here at level 55. Do not speak of this or you will die." That's very weird. Somebody is watching. Nebu doesn't really know what to do, but considering what just happened, he decides it's best to keep his mouth shut and go back home. He's too low level for this. The following morning, he goes back to the potters and tells them that the thief problem has been solved. There will be no more thefts in the middle of the night. Although he can't tell them exactly what happened, the potters are happy enough that they pay him the 500 gold. Nebu can mark this quest as complete and earns 2600 XP, which puts him at a total level of 25. Well, that's 30 more to go. Back to grinding. Whoa, that was a really sick episode. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a comment down below what you thought about this new show, about this new direction that I'm taking my channel in. This is going to be the direction that Vlogs on Knowledge is going to go in. So please do leave me a comment down below. What do you think about this new show? What do you think about this more entertainment style of videos that I'm doing compared to the educational ones? Please, I need and I would love your feedback so that I know that what I'm doing is the right thing. If you want the full explanation of why I'm doing this show, what caused all of this, and what this means for the future of Vlogs on Knowledge, there's a link in the description. It'll be the first link. Check it out. It's an explanation on my second video. I talk about everything and I really show you the logical reasoning of why this is the future of Vlogs on Knowledge. If you enjoyed this new style, if you enjoyed this new type of videos, please do leave it a big thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of these future videos, because they will come out, and when they come out, they will be amazing. My name is Menderes Kozlan. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're coming with me on this new journey, and I will see you all in the next episode.